As Jimmy Kimmel made his return to the airwaves to one of, if not the biggest audiences he's ever had, there was one viewer in particular who took his return as a personal affront. Donald Trump, who had a little temper tantrum of his own ahead of the broadcast, took to Truth Social writing, "I can't believe ABC fake news gave Jimmy Kimmel his job back. The White House was told by ABC that this show was canceled. Something happened between then and now because his audience is gone and his talent was never there. Why would they want someone back who does so poorly, who's not funny, and who puts the network in jeopardy by playing 99% positive Democrat garbage? He is yet another arm of the DNC, and to the best of my knowledge, that would be a major illegal campaign contribution. I think we're going to test ABC out on this. Let's see how we do. Last time I went after him, they gave me $16 million. This one sounds even more lucrative. A true bunch of losers. Let Jimmy Kimmel rot in his bad ratings." Now, here's the amazing part of this post. Trump's mouthpieces spent the entire week saying it wasn't Trump who pressured Disney to pull Kimmel's show. It was a business decision. His ratings were low. Trump wouldn't do that because that would be censorship, and Donald Trump is a champion for free speech. In fact, here's free speech crusader Joe Rogan himself issuing that incredulous claim.
If it is that the government tried to silence Jimmy Kimmel because they were trying to push through some sort of a merger and he doesn't like Jimmy Kimmel, so they try, yeah, that should be exposed.
That's fucked up.
I'm going to need to see some emails.
I want to see them emails.
Well, there weren't any emails, but we can do you one better because Trump posted his thoughts publicly onto Truth Social. You don't even need to find some secretive email because free speech crusader Donald J. Trump just blasted out a threat to sue ABC for airing Kimmel to the whole universe. And it wasn't just Joe Rogan, by the way. Here is a raft of other Republicans who put themselves on record trying to claim that this was somehow a business decision.
I've never heard them care about the Constitution so much. Their First Amendment. This has nothing to do with the First Amendment. This has to do with the business decision, as you noted.
So the decision to suspend and I suspect eventually cancel Kimmel is a business decision by ABC.
But similar to Kimmel, he's getting the boot because, well, he was just bad for business.
You can like or not like Disney's decision on Kimmel. But until I see proof of actual government coercion of their decision, this is about Disney making a business decision about its brand.
Yeah, that was obviously a business decision, as evidenced by the fact they're going to reinstate him. I think he's going to be on the air later tonight. So I think it was a business decision.
And if ABC wants to suspend you because you got wrong the assassin of Charlie Kirk, more power to them. That's got nothing to do with the First Amendment. That's a business decision.
Except now, it's going to be pretty difficult for any of these people to claim that this had nothing to do with the federal government when Donald Trump himself posted that Jimmy Kimmel was, quote, an arm of the DNC, and that would be an illegal campaign contribution. I think we're going to test ABC out on this. Let's see how we do. Weird. Doesn't really feel like a business decision when the President of the United States suggests that your mere presence on television is an illegal campaign contribution on behalf of the Democratic Party. Now does it? And yet, even still, that won't stop the biggest partisan hacks like Jim Jordan, for example, from continuing to toe the party line.
Congressman, can I just read you something? This is what the President of the United States says. And you tell me whether you think this sounds like coercion or not. I think we're going to test ABC out on this. Let's see how we do. Last time I went after them, they gave me $16 million. This one sounds even more lucrative.
Well, I mean, I don't think you can say this is the pressure from the government because ABC put him back on. I didn't stay up and watch it, but I think he was back on last night. So how is that the government's taking him off the air when in fact the ABC themselves, Disney, made the decision. Oh, we got two of people we do business with, Nexstar and Sinclair.
Right, I'm saying, but
a number of affiliates.
But that does sound like pressure from the government, right? But there's pressure. But it may not be successful pressure, but it's pressure from the government.
I guess you can say maybe some, but I don't think that's what drove this. I think this was a business decision.
See, that's the danger of wedging yourself that far up Trump's ass, because now when new information comes out, it takes longer to make its way up there. Kimmel, for his part, took the opportunity to make his thoughts about Donald Trump abundantly clear.
I am a tiny part of the Disney Corporation. They welcomed me back on the air, and I thank them for that. And I think unjustly, this puts them at risk. The President of the United States made it very clear he wants to see me and the hundreds of people who work here fired from our jobs. Our leader celebrates Americans losing their livelihoods because he can't take a joke.
In other words, Kimmel is clear-eyed about the threats. All of these Republicans with their heads shoved up Trump's ass might be content to pretend that the overt pressure he and Brendan Carr imposed on ABC was a business decision or somehow not exactly what it was and what it looks like. But Kimmel isn't playing that game, and now his entire audience understands too. Which, by the way, is in large part thanks to Trump himself. The irony should not be lost on us that Donald Trump tried to silence Kimmel and instead handed him the biggest megaphone in recent late-night TV history. And don't just take my word for it.
Only gets 240,000. Look how many views Tuesday night's monologue already has. 6.7 million. That's over 25 times as large as the median Jimmy Kimmel video normally gets. And I was looking, it is by far the largest video in at least 6 months. So if Donald Trump's idea was to give Jimmy Kimmel more press and more viewership, he absolutely did so. Of course, I don't think that is what Donald Trump intended to do.
Do you have any sense beyond YouTube of just how big his appeal may have been? Like, a lot of people wanted to clearly watch this from all facets of not just in America, but you know, this is from around the world.
That's exactly right. So we got this 6.7 million. I will note that that number is up already about 700,000 from the last time I checked, which was about an hour ago. But take a look here. Record high Google searches last night for what time is Jimmy Kimmel on? You wouldn't have to check what time Jimmy Kimmel was on if you were a regular viewer. The reason that people were checking what time Jimmy Kimmel was on, because he was potentially pulling in a lot of viewers who normally didn't watch. And get this, it was up over 10,000%. My goodness gracious. This, of course, dates all the way back since 2004, basically since Jimmy Kimmel was first on the air. So no, it was not just on YouTube. There was a ton of interest, what we're talking about nationwide, worldwide, in terms of what time was Jimmy Kimmel on, because I don't normally watch him, but maybe I want to take a gander because maybe I'm interested to hear what he has to say.
And I should note that as of this recording, that video is now at 13 million views and climbing, all thanks to Trump's efforts to silence him. Didn't exactly work out as intended, huh? So look, to all those Republicans out there who defended Donald Trump before he left you twisting in the wind, I don't know what's worse, debasing yourselves for Trump on such a losing issue, the issue of free speech, the First Amendment, or thinking that somehow he wouldn't throw you under the bus in an instant like he does for everyone. Now you're all on record attacking free speech, your purported pet issue, all because you're too much of a partisan hack to say an ill word of the God King. And as for Donald Trump himself, you've heard the quote, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. He might throw around freedom of speech because it sounds nice at rallies, but this guy is a petty tyrant who is the most anti-free speech politician this country's ever seen. If he had his way, Jesse Waters would be wearing a pink robe and doing North Korean-style state TV every night. This guy is pro-free speech in the same way that he is pro-transparency on the Epstein files. And the only silver lining to this whole bungled episode is that now the entire country can see it. Before you go, if you enjoyed this content and you want to see more and support independent media, please subscribe to this channel. The subscribe button will be right here on the screen. But second, the reality is that we are now in a political environment where this administration can lean on any of the social media platforms to suppress certain voices if they don't like critical coverage. That means my longevity here is in the hands of a few tech billionaires who are already making it clear that they are willing to cater to this administration. To that end, signing up for my newsletter is a way for me to reach you directly if that ever becomes necessary. I'll put the link right here on the screen as well, so please sign up. It's free, but there's also an option to do a paid subscription if you'd like to support me and my team. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching.